Hollande and David Cameron hold their first Anglo-French summit. One of the controversial issues that could crop up is that of hydraulic fracturing, or fracking. The technique used to look for highly profitable shale gas is banned in France for environmental reasons. But in Britain, authorities have presented fracking as a crisis buster and are welcoming developers with open arms. David Cameron says the practice will reduce the UK's dependency on foreign energy imports and create thousands of jobs. Now, one of the companies getting involved is French oil giant Total. Our correspondents in London have been finding out more.
Colin Davey has a spring in his step. This council member from the English county of Lincolnshire has a new investor in the region.
Total are investing here. This is Gainsborough, and in this area just around Gainsborough is where the Total investments are taking place. It's £30 million. They've bought into the site licensing.
The French oil giant is the first of the big energy companies to take a stake in Britain's shale gas industry. Colin Davey welcomes the attention.
Total coming here, it is good news for the national picture, and I think it's also good news locally, because these sites, they need money spending on them to even get to a point where they could be viable. So economically it will be a huge impact for the national economy, and locally it will create jobs, quite clearly.
Jobs or not, over in the town's marketplace, people seem unsure what to think.
I'm a bit 50-50 on it, really, because I've heard that it's really bad for the environment, but on the other hand I've heard that it's really good for, like, the place you live. No, we don't want it.
Why not? I say all for it, me.
No, because it causes mini earthquakes.
So what?
No.
I don't really know anything about it, to be honest.
An opinion poll taken last summer said that 44% of people in the UK are in favour of fracking, but a more recent survey just this month said that number falls to just 14% if the fracking site is located within 16 kilometres of their home. Well, that's one of the reasons why some members of Parliament are calling for an increase in the benefits from fracking to local communities.
Like Gordon Birtwistle, who represents the northwest town of Burnley.
Shale gas has the potential to give us a second industrial revolution and rebalance of Britain's economic output.
The government's offering local communities 1% of revenues from shale gas production. He and others have written to the Prime Minister asking for more.
I'm told that there's 50 years of gas sat under Lancashire. I believe we could be the Saudi Arabia of the UK, and I believe that the people of Lancashire, particularly the people of Burnley, should get a fair share of the revenues of this bonanza, and I believe that the 1% offered is not enough, and we should have a figure somewhere between 1 and 10%.
And a plan to give all business taxes from drilling sites to local councils has also met opposition.
The government has put local councils into a position where they don't have very much money for essential services, looking after the elderly, looking after schools and hospitals. So they cut budgets on the one hand, and then they're using fracking as a way for councils to now make a bit of that money back.
The government says fracking is safe, but these protesters at a site close to Manchester aren't convinced.
I don't think it's in the best interest of the people of this country, and that's why everyone's here today, to say this can't be done at our expense.
It's pumping chemicals into our water supply, it's going to damage the environment, it's bad for our health, it's just a horrible, horrible thing, and we don't want it.
We've got better alternatives, wind farms, solar energy, we don't need this.
Cash for local communities may persuade some, but protests like this are set to be a part of the British countryside for some time to come.
Well, for more on this, I'm joined now by our guest, Dr. Brian Horsfield, who's the head of organic geochemistry at the German Research Centre for Geosciences. Hello, thank you for being with us on France 24. Now, you studied the effects of fracking. Is it 100% environmentally safe?
There's nothing in this world that's 100% safe or anything, really. I think what you have to really consider are the facts surrounding fracking. And that is, are the top technologies available that are able to do the job that the proponents of fracking say? Secondly, do we understand the geology well enough in order to really apply those technologies properly? And I think thirdly, it's clearly the background or the environment in which these techniques are deployed that's very important. That is, you have to have regulations from the mining, from the water, from the environmental side of life in order to make sure that everything goes in the best interests of the nation.
That's right, because if it's a question of using the best technologies available and applying strict environmental standards, then there's clearly room for malpractice, isn't there?
I think if you were to look at the entire history of shale gas, not only in America but in Canada and other countries, I think you wouldn't come to the conclusion that it was somehow a frightening and devastating technology. You'd actually come to the conclusion that the way that people have been deploying these methods are okay. They're good, they're state-of-the-art. It's when you don't have the regulations that keep out the, for want of a better word, the cowboys, then that's when the problems arise. And so you have to consider, how do we deploy these techniques? How do we really understand this geological framework in Europe? Let's go ahead under our own rules. Let's not pretend that this is the United States. Europe's a different place. And so nobody in his right mind would threaten the aquifers, the drinking water, for the sake of gas exploration. I don't personally think that that would ever be an option.
So should regulation be handled on a national or on an international and perhaps continental level?
I think the European Union has up till now really stayed out of trying to impose a single rule for all. They are making rules, if you like, or suggestions as to whether the shale gas the feasibility of shale gas should at least be tested. So they are giving those guidelines, but it's really up to each nation to decide. If you, at the very beginning of your broadcast, you were saying that France had decided against shale gas based on environmental grounds. That's actually not true. Environment came into it, but France is clearly a country that's very heavily supporting nuclear energy. That's not the case in the UK, where the gas from the southern North Sea is running out, and new supplies have to be sought. So you can, if you stick with gas, then you either continue to produce the depleting amounts and bring in maybe gas from Qatar or Russia, or you actually explore the possibilities of shale gas. I think to actually simply rule out shale gas, you're not just considering the facts, you would be doing a heck of a lot of speculation. That's the problem. The ladies in the street that you were interviewing really don't know. It's very tough to distinguish between fact and speculation in building an opinion. Really.
Thank you very much for having talked to us, Dr. Brian Horsfield. Thank you for that. And that's where we're leaving that focus segment. But stay tuned. Coming up in the next half hour, France's answer to the Oscars. The César nominations are in. Our arts editor will bring us up to date on that.